Hello and welcome to the debut episode of the Selfish Three Balls Movie Club. Yay!
Yay.
I'm Chris.
Jasmine.
And what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Nope.
Nope. Nope. The
Nope.
2022 film
I believe so.
by
Jordan Peele.
Yeah. Selfish.
Three balls.
A little bit of a kind of description of what the Selfish Three Balls Movie Club is. We have 3 points to make, which are the 3 balls. The first ball is the one to catch, which is the good point or the thing that we liked. The second ball is the one to throw, which is the kind of the either bad point or something that we maybe didn't understand, didn't like, wanted to change. And then the third ball is the juggling.
Yeah.
The thing that makes it all...
Third ball to juggle. Yes.
Yeah, third ball to juggle. Makes it all go round.
Yes.
Yeah.
The carve ball and the game changer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie is supposed to be a horror movie. It was marketed as a horror movie.
Yeah, that's a key point. Marketed as.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. And so the general idea, the story is that there's this, the descendant of the black family who was very heavily involved with the Hollywood industry. And then as a neighbor, they have this... what do you say? Ranch?
It's like an amusement park.
Amusement park,
But
yeah.
it's more like a county fair, kind of carnival almost. It's not really like
Yeah.
an amusement park.
But the Asian guy who's running that as a cowboy character is former actor.
Former child star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has that background and he's running this place and they kind of get involved with each other because the main character is the black guy
OJ.
who is the OJ is the horse trainer and his sister is also there and they start finding these weird things in the sky. So that's where it starts. So the first ball to catch is, well, just needless to say, it's Jordan Peele's third film. And we are fans of him.
Yeah.
And, we loved Get Out and Us, just like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And we got very much entertained and we are very, well, I can't talk about you, but I was very
Talk about me.
impressed by the how many layers are just put in and it was so well thought out. So like Jordan Peele's movie just that fact that this is a Jordan Peele's movie is a sell for me.
Yeah, sure. For a lot of people.
Yeah, I can count on that. I'm gonna have a good time in the theater.
Yeah.
It's very entertaining, but he always puts the different angles
Yeah.
and twists that
Yeah.
we didn't know. It was kind of like when the Get Out came out, it was like the Sixth Sense.
Right.
That really changed everything
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the movie industry.
Yeah.
And the Get Out also had such a impact
Yeah,
on Hollywood.
Right. It was one of those movies where you want everybody that you know to see it, but you don't want to reveal the ending or
Yeah.
the twist because it's one of those big twist movies. But I would actually say, unlike The Sixth Sense, which I feel like, I mean, I know there's people that love that movie, but it's like almost you can only watch it one time.
Yeah.
And then it's like kind of like, oh yeah, now you know what it is. But
Yeah.
Get Out, I mean, like you said, there's many layers to
Yeah.
it. So even if you know the twist, I feel like you can still kind of revisit it and you can see
Yeah.
new things each time.
Right.
That's the beauty of Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's not just entertaining, but he questions a lot about American culture and society and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And even if we don't get all of that messages, like we still get entertained. And then I think that's the magic of Jordan Peele.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, I guess I'll just go into my first
Yes,
ball to
please.
catch, which is all of these characters I think are quite desperate. They're desperate. I mean, horse trainers in Hollywood are probably in 2022 are not really so needed anymore because there's not really westerns anymore. The western as a genre is kind of seen as kind of old and and there's that scene where when they're on the set, Otis Jr. and Emerald comes in there, they have the horse on set, and Otis can barely talk to you know the filmmakers.
He's a very awkward guy.
Yeah, he can't be like the
No,
dad,
he
you know.
can't, yeah.
And the filmmaker is actually, he's like, "Where's the old guy?
Yeah,
Like, we want the
yeah.
old guy." And it's like, "Well, it's just OJ now." And the horse kind of gets panicked.
Yes.
And then you see as they lose the job, they get fired, and they're leading the horse out of the studio, and then they're bringing in the CGI horse. You know, they're bringing
Yes,
in the
yes,
green
yes.
screen horse, and so there's that desperation, you know.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? Ricky Park, the former child star played by Stephen Yeun. He's the he dresses up like a cowboy. He's got this little kind of very sad amusement park, but it's really just kind of a county fair carnival that he's running. And then he's basically, that's based on his name.
Yeah.
As, you know, he was this child star who was involved with this horrible moment in the sitcom where a chimpanzee went nuts and murdered a bunch of people, and he miraculously survived. That was a huge, like, nostalgia moment in 90s TV.
Yeah,
and so he's
like-
using that
Yeah.
to still now as an adult, like, sail
Yeah.
on into this sad, you know, he's an Asian guy, but he dresses up like a cowboy. His nickname is Jupiter.
Yeah.
You know, it's called Jupiter's Claim. It's like he's got this alien name, and it's just so sad. You know, all of these characters are just so sad.
So you mean like every character is stuck in the past?
That's a good way to look at it. I didn't think about that. I was just thinking of Jordan Peele has the theme of like spectacle. You know, this movie's supposed to be about spectacle. But how I was looking at it was as a spectacle, but the desperate situation that leads people to want to capture the spectacle, want to get the impossible. You know, everyone is seeking how to get out of their situation or how to make the best of their situation. But they're all kind of really sad and, you know, kind of desperate people.
Yeah.
Even like Angel Torres, who's he works for Fry's Electronics.
Yeah.
He just got out of this long relationship with this girl, and he's in a bad place. He comes all the way out there to set up their security cameras, and then Emerald and OJ are like, "Okay, thank you, goodbye." You know, they kind of use him. And so then
Yes.
what does he do? He starts monitoring their feed of their security cameras, even though they told him not to, because he also wants to capture that mysterious phenomenon, you know, the UFO or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. He's also somewhat desperate, and he thinks maybe I can, you know, make money off this or get something out of this. So
Yeah.
it's like everybody's just trying to, you know, but then they're all tangled together. They're all completely dependent on each other in this situation. But then everybody's trying to get theirs, you know what I mean? OJ is maybe the only one who is not actively trying to capture this thing. Capture meaning both on video or, you know, make money off of it or whatever. I mean capture in the larger sense of the word capture. But OJ to me is just, he's simply trying to survive. He's selling the horses to Jupe, you know,
Yeah.
because he's trying to keep the father's legacy going,
Yeah.
the family legacy.
Yeah.
And that's what drives them. That's what
But
drives the plot.
that's the nature of Hollywood. Hollywood is based on a spectacle. It's a dream. It's
Yeah.
so the spectacle aspect, I think it's just a really indication of Hollywood itself, that
Sure.
whole industry. And what do they do? Yeah, I mean, they're money chasing. But I feel like it's very ironic and also clever that he did this through a movie, you know?
Yeah. Through the spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
It's like such an irony. The whole, like, the biggest irony
Mm-hmm.
of all is that this movie itself exists.
Yeah, it's very meta. It's very meta in that way. Yeah, that's true. One more thing I wanted to say about the desperation aspect. I love my favorite line in the movie is the cinematographer. He's called Antlers Holst, I think is his name.
The guy?
Yeah, the cranking camera. Yeah, he has that great line where he says, "Horse girl, this dream you're chasing, where you end up at the top of the mountain, all eyes on you. It's the dream you never wake up from. And yet he also chases that dream.
Oh, yeah, he does.
You know, that's another one of the ironies. And I just wanted to say, you know, even he is quite desperate because when we first meet him, he's on the set of a commercial. You know, that's why they bring the horse into that set. It's not a movie, it's a commercial. And he's this famous cinematographer, but now he's doing commercials. So it's like, you know, even he obviously has some desperation, I think. I mean, OJ and M to some degree, even though M doesn't even want to be involved in the family business, but OJ is sort of clinging to that, you know, that's all they have is their family, you know, doing horses in movies. And then Steven Yeun's character, you know, Jupe, is like the saddest of all because he's clinging to this tiny piece of fame that's like the most horrible fame.
Yes.
You know, no one really remembers him as a child actor so much as they remember the horror that he went through and the news story.
It's really sad.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah.
It is really sad. And I was thinking after we watched it about Jupe's wife, who has only a couple lines in the movie. She's barely there. But she has that crucial scene where he's like kind of just gone. You know, he's just sitting there like before the performance.
Oh yeah, on the show.
Yeah, the new show that they have that involves the alien spectacle. He's completely gone.
Yeah.
And she starts rubbing his wrists and sort of bringing him back. And are you ready for the show? And it's almost like, I almost thought she's kind of like an enabler, you know, like enabler. Like she's kind of pushing him into this thing. Like, is it really his own choice? Or is she just, you know, is she kind of behind it going like, yeah, you know, you want to keep making money. You want to keep, you know, she kind of keeps him grounded.
Yeah, I can see
when
that.
he's, you know, Jupiter, he's floating in space because of all of his trauma.
Everyone wants to use everybody, so yeah.
That's what I mean, is that desperation and that, you know, everybody's trying to get theirs. Okay, let's move on to the second ball. I don't actually have that much for the second ball.
Okay.
The second ball, which is to throw, which is the thing that I guess I would change. It's not like I don't like, because I really like this movie. I think this movie is almost flawless in a lot of ways. It's wonderful. It's the alien. It's the UFO, the UAP. I wish there was a little bit more, just a little bit more of its, like how it works or its behavior, because sometimes it's a little bit confusing for me. I was fine with most of it being unexplained because you wouldn't know. I mean, you know, you're seeing through the character's eyes. So, for example, the electromagnetism, you know, all of the electronics shut down whenever it's around. I was fine with that. I was like, that's a cool device. You know, it makes everything really spooky. You know.
Yeah.
But I guess the one thing that I was confused about, and I liked the scene, but I was just confused was, and this is maybe a minor spoiler, so just, you know, you could skip ahead however long there's a time here. The scene where they're in the house and the alien is above the house and the blood is raining down. That scene was awesome in terms of spectacle.
Okay.
But it was confusing because before that, all we have ever seen is like the junk falling out of the alien, like keys and coins and, you know, pieces of metal that it sucked up. Why did it decide to empty all of the blood from the victims? You know, I was just like, I wish I kind of would have known like the consistency, like.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't really need to know. It remains a mystery. But I felt like it was kind of weird that before that we had never seen any indication that it would like spit out blood or pieces of bodies. It was always just spitting out like objects and.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see your point, but like I was saying at first, you know, like this was supposed to be a horror movie, so like but I wonder, this just reminds me of this like synchronizing theme. One of the themes is like, which is that the animalness of it, animalness, like unexpectedness.
Oh sure,
you know, like UFO itself, it's kind of like you don't know, but then like, you know, OJ found that attribute, like personality of the UFO, like you can't look at it, you can't make an eye contact, you know, just like the animal, just like the horse, just like the chimpanzee, you know, there was like always that theme going on because these animals are involved in the movie, and you know, you cannot look at their
directly
eyes
into their eyes,
and then I find it so interesting that don't look at the eyes, but then like the chimp, you know, on the show that the horrible thing happened, in the set, and
Yeah.
then like toward the very end of that whole sequence, like
Minor spoiler.
the chimp would look at the eyes,
Yeah. Of
look
Jupe
at yeah.
under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though he's looking through like the gauze of the table.
Yeah, I know.
Which
That's
I was like
also
wondering.
very symbolic.
Yeah, yeah.
But before that, when Chimp finds the little Jupe
Yeah.
under the table,
Yeah.
like it would make a
when
direct eye
from
contact
a
with
distance.
the camera.
Yeah, right,
you know?
right. Yeah, it kind of
So-
looks, and that's such a creepy. Like I remember getting kind of
I know,
chills when
it's so creepy,
Yeah, he like
yeah.
looks over, and you're like, oh man, he's doomed. You know?
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
So that theme keeps coming back like that, and
Yeah.
then so you can never predict what the monkey's gonna do.
Right,
You know.
right. And that might be why Jupe kind of harnesses or tries to harness that thing as his show.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know if he's really like conscious again how much he's even like in control of what he's doing.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was almost able to connect with the chimp,
Yeah.
maybe he thinks
Yeah.
he can do it again.
In Japan, every movie has this pamphlet that comes with the movie, and I was
When you see it in
reading-
the theater. Yeah.
yeah. And you can see the making of and interviews of the director, actors, and I was kind of reading it.
Yeah.
And this one of the critiques of movie critics was talking about how Asian people have been told like yellow monkeys, and then a monkey may symbolize the Asians or minority in general. And don't look at their eyes. You don't know what they're gonna do, and this like, I guess if taken positively, it's a mystery. But then, like I was gonna say, like the skin color is different, their language is different, their behavior is different.
right.
It's kind of like animals.
The
you know
otherness.
what I mean?
Yeah, the otherness. Yeah,
You
definitely.
don't know, and
Right.
so I felt like in this movie, it was like put out really well. That message, I think it was pretty clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that leads to my second
Okay,
ball to
go ahead.
throw, which is the like American problems. I just kind of twisted the interpretation of the second ball, but yeah, I don't
Twist them balls.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, but like this huge American problems like that, like racism, hierarchy,
Yeah.
and minorities, and this like people's ego and greed, which we already talked about in the first ball. Yeah, I find that part of American culture very interesting. So I guess maybe that's another reason why this movie really spoke to me.
Sure. I wouldn't say it's a theme, but kind of the setting is California. It's the Wild West, even though it's present day. But it's, Jupe has the cowboy theme going on. And,
Yeah.
the Wild West was the last frontier. And that was also where white people had the
Yeah.
last of their kind of control.
Yeah.
Control over Native Americans, control over the Chinese road workers and black people and all, none of the minorities were really welcome in the Wild West. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So that's also kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's California,
Yeah,
it's
that's
Hollywood,
true.
but it's also cowboys.
Yes.
It's white, all white culture,
Yeah, I guess you can reward that control.
Yeah.
It's a good word when it comes down to the American culture and then the animal.
Yeah.
You want to control them. You want to put them under control.
Right.
But like Jupe, when you were talking, like it reminded me of the when Jupe was doing the show, that show.
Yeah, that show.
That show, like the UFO. Can I say this? UFO came a little earlier than he
Minor spoilers.
expected, and he didn't know what to do.
Right.
Like, oh, they're here.
Yeah, they're here a little early, but we're going to start the
Yeah.
show. And then like,
So it gives you the hint of like, oh God, what's gonna happen?
Right,
And,
right.
Yeah, and so
You just don't
that's
know.
also like they are behaving like out of control.
right.
Like so. Yeah.
the chimp gets set off by a balloon popping.
Yeah.
It's something so simple.
Yeah.
And something so, like, you don't think about it.
Yes.
Balloons popping, I mean, when you're a kid, maybe you get scared of that or whatever. But you don't think it's going to make an animal go into a murderous rampage.
Yes.
Or showing the horse its own reflection
Yeah.
in that ball
that's
on the movie set.
true.
And then it kicks
Yeah.
the old actress, the old actress
Yeah.
who says OJ,
Yes.
and again it's like OJ Simpson. Here's a black man who's on trial for murder.
But bad association.
Yeah, but I mean, that thing about the animals and the
Yeah, 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 I know, I
dehumanizing.
know.
I mean, OJ Simpson
Yeah.
was watched, under a microscope when he was on trial.
Yeah.
And it stays in people's minds,
Yes.
whether you're black or white or whatever, you
Oh my
remember the
God.
O.J. Simpson trial.
Oh my God.
And she's, O.J.?
Yes.
Yeah, Otis Jr. He's like, just... The third ball, do you want to just go into the third one?
Okay. Well, I have a whole rant.
Oh, rant away while I check out my notes here.
Okay. As I said, I'm a fan of Jordan Peele,
Yeah.
and whatever he's doing, fine, I'm gonna go see it. But this point really added the extra bonus for me. This is Steven Yeun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
love him.
We love him.
We've
He's-
been watching him since The Walking Dead,
Yeah.
first season.
Yeah, I know. The pizza delivery boy.
Yeah, we've been chasing him, and he's like, wow, he's like at this level now, and I'm
I
like
love that
cheering
man.
for him.
Yeah.
Like, I love him. I mean, he's an excellent actor these days.
Yes.
In
Incredible
anything
actor.
that he does, like in Beef, he was also like phenomenal.
Phenomenal. I mean,
my God.
he's one of the best actors of his generation. I'm just saying that, even though he's still so young.
So good.
Yeah,
And
incredible
he
performance in this movie.
Did a really good job in this like washed up, like weird Asian cowboy character that's already desperate, and then he's just clinging on to that one thing.
Success. I wouldn't say success because it was a nightmare, but his fame.
In his
fame,
in his mind it
moment.
was such a thing,
Right.
and
But he plays it so disconnected. He's completely
Yeah,
he can't even talk about it directly. He talks about the Saturday Night Live version of what
Yeah.
happened rather than talking about what actually
he's
happened.
very much connected, but he doesn't have that like objective eyes at all.
Right.
And these, what was it, like these European people came and
Yeah,
like
stayed the
paid
night in the...
tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
to see this thing.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's this amazing monologue in the movie that he talks about that experience,
Right.
which is messed up.
Yeah.
It's that the incident itself is such a tragedy and something that you'd think that people feel so messed up mentally
Probably
or physically.
couldn't talk about.
Yeah,
most
don't
people.
want to talk about
Yeah.
it, right? But he just happily talks about it.
Yeah.
And that itself is like insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's almost like in this kind of like a media world.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, did you see the sketch on Saturday Night Live? Or like,
Yeah,
and he kind of repeats it almost as if he's told this story hundreds of times.
Yes.
And it's...
And he has.
And yeah, it's almost like that itself is a kind of performance.
Yeah.
He's not actually looking at it anymore. He's just kind of like rehearsing these,
Yeah.
restating these lines he said a million
Oh
times.
my
and
God.
with that, he has that really, like that dead-eyed delivery.
Yeah.
Which if you see Steven Yeun in anything, he changes, a lot. I mean, he's a really, really good actor.
Yeah.
And in this, he does this really subtle, but really powerful, disconnected
Yes.
kind of thing.
Come to think of it, that energy, that disconnected thing
Yeah.
is really like the what was it? The tablecloth between the monkey
the
and
gauze.
him.
Yeah.
That kind of like
Right. You're looking through some kind of filter
yes
or something. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure it's also thought out too.
Well, and it also, I mean, going back to what we were talking about, don't look in the eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Kaluuya is often looking down, and he doesn't make eye
doesn't
contact
make
with
eye
others.
contact. Yeah, because he's a horse person.
Right.
Yeah.
And Steven Yeun is often looking like somewhere.
Yeah.
Even when his
He
wife is like talking to him,
Yeah.
it takes him a long time to look in her eyes.
Yeah.
He actually it takes quite a while in that scene, I think, before he actually like looks at her
I
and he
guess
comes back.
That indicates the detachedness with a reality, like where he is. He's in a dream still,
Right.
He's in that world.
Yeah. And his first crush is the woman with basically no face. She also wears the veil over
Yes,
her face, and he's
yes.
like, "It's my first crush."
Don't look on,
Yeah. It's there's that.
so
Especially his character is
true.
surrounded by veils
Yeah.
and gauze and
We
filters.
found something. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. There's so many layers to this thing.
Yeah. One more thing that I want to add about that monologue is that the camera work, it just slowly zooms in him. It's not like rapid zoom. It's like really like slow.
The direction
zoom.
of this movie is very well done.
Yeah.
Really
And-
understated, but really, really effective.
That makes it so much more creepy than just a shot. That's a still shot. It's
Yeah.
like slowly you get into what he's trying to say,
Yeah.
and you kind of realize how crazy he is.
Yeah, yeah.
And it makes it like so much more intense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because he starts off kind of casual. He's like, "Oh, did you guys see the Saturday Night Live?" You know,
Yeah.
and then it's like, as he's talking,
Yeah.
it's like, "Wait a minute, this is not like something that you
Yeah.
can really casually talk
That's
about."
like exactly how you feel. Like at first, like, you're casually
Yes,
listening, like okay,
exactly.
But then, like, wait a minute, this
Yeah.
person is really messed up.
That's true. Yeah, no, it would be. It's kind of mirroring, how the audience would feel, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Totally. I could have like I was there with
Mm-hmm.
with the camera.
yeah. I mean, Jordan Peele is such an incredibly talented guy. I mean, he writes these things, he directs these things. He used to be a comedian. Like,
Yeah,
he's
I know.
he's just an incredible. He
Yeah.
tried to make a new version of the Twilight Zone. I mean, the guy is just incredibly talented.
Yeah, I appreciate those subtle like details like so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. My third ball to juggle the whole thing was the absurdity that it's not like the whole movie is absurd, but there are these moments of absolute absurdity that come in that I think really lighten the movie, and it makes it kind of like, it's not like you would laugh out loud, but it's like it makes it so bizarre in like kind of a humorous way.
Okay.
So, for example, again, minor spoilers, the sort of toward the ending sequence where they set up all of the sky dancers. They use these car batteries with these sky dancers to kind of bring the UFO, and the image of this, dead desert landscape with these colorful, crazy sky dancers.
Yeah.
It's
kind of surreal.
as the markers for when it comes by, and then they they deflate,
Yeah.
and then it passes by and they inflate
Yeah.
again. And it's just like, it's so funny, but it's not really something you would like laugh about, but it's like so ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, there's a lot of like moments like that where especially the ending, which I don't know if I should talk about the ending. But I felt like the ending, the very, very last part of the movie is very, very absurd. And it's kind of hard to predict, in my opinion. Because this movie doesn't follow like the tropes of horror or sci-fi like directly. Usually the government comes in and there's like the alien specialist and the FBI or the CIA is there, and they're shutting everything down, and they're setting up the lab. Yeah. But in this one, there's none of that. There's none of the authorities. There's no higher power except the alien. It's just the people dealing with it. And so usually in these kind of movies, you have some big explosive spectacle ending. But Jordan Peele subverts that by having almost kind of a quiet ending, if you think about it.
Yeah, it is.
And the way that they vanquish the alien is kind of silly. It's almost, again, it's absurd. The way that they finally get it, it's like, what? That was what they did?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, and then that's why I like it.
I like it so much, and then everyone online was like, oh, that was like so boring, and like there wasn't like that punch at the end. But I liked that. I liked how the spectacle didn't happen at the end. Like the climax is really intense, but then the ending is actually like, that's all it was?
Yeah.
And then I feel like he's kind of doing that meta thing of like, oh, you wanted to see a spectacle? Well, I'm not going to give you a spectacle. I'm just going to give you this,
yeah, I know. And then that's also is the answer, like the answer, for the people who are chasing for the spectacles.
Yeah.
And it's something huge, which is really like for like us, everybody.
Yeah.
We're trying to just go viral online,
Right.
and trying to get some attention.
Yeah. I mean, that's another of the layered
Yeah.
theme, I think, is that
But the
society's
truth
spectacle
is
as well.
Not that colorful, not so flashy, but they still do get their win at the end.
Right.
So the reality might be that simple and not so spectacle.
Yeah.
Not anything that you're thinking about.
Right.
But you still get the success. It's not like you don't get anything out of it. So
Can I just spoil the ending?
it's fine.
Okay.
To me.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just a huge spoiler. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the ending. The way that they defeat the alien is they have Jupe's balloon,
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's Jupe as a child, yeah, as a cowboy, and this cute version of him. I don't know if it's like him as a child, but anyway, him as a
Yeah.
cowboy winking.
Yes, yes.
And of course the alien eats the balloon and pops, and the alien is destroyed just like that. Just the balloon popping. It's that simple. You know, a balloon popping will set off a
But it
chimp into a
choke.
bloody rage,
Yeah.
or it will pop the alien and choke and kind of.
Yeah, it choked.
But then how do they get the money shot?
Yeah, I know.
It's
That's what I mean.
It's a wishing well.
Yes.
That's so ridiculous and so absurd.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
Yeah, it is fun. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about when I talk about absurdity. I'm sorry if you
Well-
watch this and you haven't seen the movie and I spoiled it. I'm really sorry. But I love that. I love that bizarreness
too.
At the very end.
The reality is something that's simple.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing with a high technology, this like things like that you think like maybe this, maybe that. No, it's like it's really simple. Just going back to the old ways after all.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see these minority
Actors?
yes, non-white
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are
People of color.
dominating this. Yeah, people of color. Yes. Because in Hollywood, Hollywood has been criticized as such a white culture for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they did a
Rightly so.
yeah. They're trying, and then like in after maybe 2020 and on, I really feel like the change compared to when I was growing up or when I was a young adult.
Sure.
Like
sure.
just really seeing like all the white characters. I learned English through friends on the ER. ER had like a little more variety.
They
but,
actually have pretty good diversity in that show. Like,
Yeah.
Considering, when it was made.
So in this movie, like, I'm so glad to see them, and also like I'm so happy as an Asian, like, these like Steven Yeun's acting, like he as an actor he's excellent.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, he is an Asian actor, so let's put him. No, he's a good actor. That's
Yeah.
why let's put him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, on the one hand, it's great to see minorities
Yeah.
like getting a lot more roles, but then on the other hand, it's great to see great actors
Yes.
like in a great role.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like finally there are more good actors
Yeah.
of colors.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even have a chance
Right.
to get the roles. I mean, like, there were no roles.
Right. Right.
Colored roles.
I know.
To begin with.
Yeah.
Maybe we had, Denzel Washington and Will Smith, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
But then no Asian
No.
really actors
Right.
who are good.
You have like
because,
Jackie Chan in his, martial arts
right,
movies.
right,
but
I know.
They're
we are
so
always like
pigeonholed into that
love
thing.
for the martial arts,
Right.
and the look of it, they look Asian, like
Yeah.
they look like samurai ninjas,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's not that. I mean, like, I'm talking about the acting skill.
Yeah.
And finally we're to this point that we can have these actors because they had some chances
Yeah.
coming along the way, and then like after some decades, like they finally got there, and I think it's something to celebrate.
I think so
for.
too. Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see more of these people, like these actors, coming.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're coming. No more coming.
Yeah.
I respect these like white actors who are so good, excellent. We have so many good actors.
Yeah. That goes without saying.
But like, I'm so glad that they finally got the chances, and then they're coming this way. And
Yeah.
So that I wanted to add.
Well, I completely agree with you. There's, I don't want to wade into the whole, woke thing and the diversity, all this kind of stuff that's going on, especially online. It's such a mess.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I have noticed is, I mean, people of color are in everything, absolutely everything that's being made now. Whether or not they're a good actor, and whether or not they fit the role.
Yeah.
And like you said, I want to see good actors in good roles.
Yes.
And Nope is a movie that every single person fits that character exactly. They're all great actors. The writing, gives them so much to do.
Yeah.
And it's such a satisfying feeling.
Yes,
because
it
even
is.
me as a white guy who grew up, with white movies and white culture, that's not what you want to see all the time. You
Yeah.
know, you want to see something like this that's completely different. you know, that's not only has a different kind of cast, but also is a different kind of movie. It's not really horror. It's barely sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a human drama.
Yeah, it is.
With these kind of fantastical elements.
Yes.
And it's so refreshing to see great actors doing what they do best.
Yes.
You know?
And then that can be done because of Jordan Peele's
Right.
experience.
Right.
I'm sure he struggled with his, you know, the stereotype toward him and
Right.
toward his race and like everything. So I think he wants to give opportunities for these actors and,
Yeah.
you know, like wants to show and, you know, questions like how Hollywood has been.
Yes.
And also asking us like what we think of it and how we take it. And it's, yeah, I'm just so happy about this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, supposedly, Brendan Perea, I think, who plays Angel Torres.
Yeah.
Angel Torres was a very minor character.
Yes.
In the movie, and then when Jordan Peele got to know Brandon, he like really liked him.
Yeah.
And so he actually expanded the role of Angel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You were talking
he
about
rewrote the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because the originally he was writing a character a little bit different. But he liked this actor so much, so yeah, he rewrote for him.
Yeah,
supposedly.
and that guy pretty much steals every scene that he's in.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. He
he's-
did a good job. Yeah, he really did.
I mean, everybody,
Yeah.
like...
Yeah, well, we talked about how, like, the Angel guy, like, well, I've seen that guy at Best Buy,
Yeah,
you know? Like,
yeah,
I've seen that
I
person,
know.
like, he...
Circuit City, Fry's
Yeah, it's like-
Electronics, Best Buy.
Yeah, he's, like, everywhere in the
Yeah,
States.
I
Yeah.
know. I've probably talked with him many times at the customer service booth, you know?
Yeah, I know.
At the customer service counter. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because it's, you know, I can say something like that, but it means less, I think, coming from a white dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah,
You know, it
because-
means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it also means something to me, too, because I've been watching movies since I was a little kid, and I like to see movies like this. I mean,
Yeah.
Just completely, something completely different
Yes.
on so many levels.
This was, yes, very, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much feelings, yeah. Okay.
Okay. That's all we got.
Yep.
Okay. So we're juggling the balls. Yep. Round and round.
I can juggle.
Yeah, neither can I.
I can do only two.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We would be juggling if we could juggle, but we can't, so we won't.
Okay. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. If you want to join the Selfish Three Balls Movie Club as an honorary member, all you have to do is leave a comment or subscribe to our channel.
Oh, easy.
How easy is that?
All right.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.